Red lights are on then for the second race of the day, and out they go, and it's a good start from the pole position man, Pete Morgan. Then he's made a good getaway. He's got Campbell there, who's up further on the grid than we're used to seeing him. We've got a good start being made there by Chris Deere in the 46 car, one on the grass. That's number 89, Titch Kelsall. How's that all going to work out? As he's managed to avoid all of them, because of course he couldn't brake on the very wet grass. How on earth did they all avoid him, Josh?
Well, they seemed, I don't know if they saw them, because everyone seemed to stop, didn't they, going through Hatchet. Yeah, look at Pete Morgan's lead. Up to third is Finn Groom. We haven't seen him near the front before. He's qualified sixth fantastically. He's only scored 9 points in the championship in the 4 races this season. He's still got the novice cross on the back. He gets there, he's sideways, but he's there in third, just ahead of the Groom. That's Rick Groom, isn't it, there in 4th place, and then the Chris Deere and Robert Campbell cars. So Campbell lost out a bit. There's Paul Thorpe, who struggled in qualifying a bit, so he's trying to gain position, but a dramatic old start to that race. And way up on 2 wheels there was Finn Groom in the distance. He manages to avoid that. He's got Rick right behind him, so 3rd and 4th. 3 of the top 4 here, Ford Fiesta XR2s, which is quite unusual.
It certainly is. The All Group Motorsport car are all together as well in 3rd and 4th positions at the moment, just ahead of that car that was that's the Chris Deere car, isn't it? In fact, the 46 car is next up. The car that was on the front row is a couple of places further back.
A few cars going off it here at Honda, just like we saw in the Mazda 7s, and I think there's been some contact for James Hazelhurst in all of that.
And he's stranded. He's got some damage to the front of the car, I can see as well. That's number 12 car. The other car is the Pete Osgood car, I think, which is driving away. But I think Ben Bateman's car is moving.
Hazelhurst.
James Hazelhurst, sorry.
Yes, that's right. So, yeah, we lost Ben Bateman after qualifying. He blew an engine after qualifying 4th. There's Titch Kelsall, who's got himself back going. After, that could have been a big accident, couldn't it? So that's good to see that everyone managed to avoid him at the start. And he's back up to 11th after some other drivers' dramas at the start of this 15-minute race. But it's Pete Morgan that leads by a second over Martin Kayser, who they're 1st and 3rd in the championship. There's 47. Robert Campbell had that really good qualifying session. He was quite cautious, I think, there at the start. So he's 7th, just behind Jason Wood, who's the best of the Vauxhalls now, the Nova. But here's the leaders. Pete Morgan's gap to Martin Kayser seems to have come down, and he's bringing everybody else with him. The top 6 not separated by very much at all.
Yeah, Pete Morgan, very experienced racer in stock hatch in that's original iteration. He's also raced minis as well in the past. Inside for second place goes Finn Groom there.
Yeah, there's loads of mud on the road and everyone's getting very sideways.
Very slippery indeed. And look at this then, it's side by side for second, and it's not too far behind the leader, isn't Martin Kayser, as they come down. Rick Groom in the 92 car is also getting involved, and he's going very late on the brakes. He's just on the best lap of the race. He's trying to go around the outside of everybody to get the lead. He's got past his lad. He's then run off the road. He's back on it now, and he's back to 4th place.
Yeah, that's right. So Finn is getting there. He's sideways. So quite remarkable stuff. So the grid a little bit down here in classic stock hatch, but the racing's pretty frenetic after just 2 laps. Feels like a lot longer, doesn't it? So much has happened. But Pete Morgan, who had pulled away, like you say, everybody else is coming back to him at this stage. There's Chris Deere. He is 2nd in the championship, 13 points behind Pete Morgan. Pete Morgan's won a race. Nobody else is here who has won so far this season.
Out of Brooklands for the second time, and look at this, a great pack of cars. You've got Finn Groom there, just using a bit of the curb on the exits of the corner there. So you've got Pete Morgan leading, Martin Kayser in 2nd, 3rd Finn Groom, 4th Rick Groom, and Chris Deere in 5th place, number 46. They're right together, and then a little bit of a gap back to Jason Wood in 5th place.
Finn Groom carries a lot of speed through the final corner, Honda. It looks like it could go wrong at any point, but it didn't. And he's right there behind Martin Kayser, but it's Pete Morgan out front, 1 minute 17.5. So we're 3 seconds away from qualifying pace.
Chris Deere was just having a look up the inside there. I thought he was going to get 4th place away from Rick Groom, but that didn't come to pass as they went into braking for Hatchets. And it's brought Jason Wood closer to them as well, actually.
Yeah, that's right. So Jason Wood, who I think had a bit of an incident yesterday in testing, he's got himself back out there in the PDC Racing Vauxhall Nova. But there's the leader then, Pete Morgan. The fastest lap now is with Paul Thorpe, who's there in 8th position at 1 minute 16.8. So he's lapping almost a second quicker than this lead group.
So watching them come through the Senna S's, we're working lap 4 of this race. Paul Thorpe it is with the best lap of the race, a 1:16.85. He's back in 8th position. He's 4.73 seconds behind the leader. So as if Paul Thorpe becomes more involved in this as the race goes on. As you can see, Pete Morgan with a bit of a gap back to Martin Kayser now as they head into the right-hand kink at Carter's. And then it's to Honda. They go, the 90-degree right-hander that ends this 1.456 mile lap of Pembrey circuit. Good exit from Honda for Finn Groom there. He's taking the fight to the white car of Case, but also a good exit from Chris Deere. He was good on this part of the lap ago as well. This time though he has gone through into 4th position, ahead now of Rick Groom, although as we've seen earlier, Rick Groom very late on the brakes there into Hatchett. Yeah,
this time he can't get the position back, so that change has happened for 4th place. Chris Deere going through, the former Metro champion. So the cars work their way through. Just in the background they saw Martin Rogers' Peugeot, and he's been caught by Paul Thorpe, who earlier had done the best lap of the race. That's gone back now to the race leader, Pete Morgan. There's the damaged car of James Hazelhurst, so he's going to retire his Peugeot 205 from this race. But there is Paul Thorpe in the number 40 car. Such a passionate driver about this championship is Paul in the ALS Autos backed Ford Fiesta XR2.
Yeah, and just tucked in there behind the 205 of number 39, Martin Rogers. So this is scrap for 7th and 8th position, and you can just see up ahead the leading sextet. So they're not far away. Windscreen wipers on, probably more for the... actually, it is raining again now, I think, isn't it? Looking out the window. I was going to say as much for the spray as the rain, but I think it may well be raining now as well as they work into the 6th lap of the race. Now Finn Groom under pressure from Chris Deere, the former Metro champion. He's also been a champion in midgets in Europe as well. So quite a lot of experience that Chris Deere has, and he did win several races last season, Josh.
Yeah, that's right, particularly towards the end of the year. Chris Deere was really quick. So far this season he's only had the one podium, which was a 2nd place at the opening race at Croft. But Chris Deere looking quick here. He's just set the fastest lap, a 1:15.2. So lap times are coming down now from earlier in the race, quite significantly actually.
Interestingly, that's only about 2.5 seconds outside the lap record as well.
Really? Yeah, in quali, the pole lap was a 1:14.2. So that's pretty remarkable, isn't it? Because it's still very damp out there. And as you say, it's still some rain falling here at Pembrey. There's the race leader, that's Pete Morgan. He is the championship leader. He won one of the races at the beginning of the season at Croft Circuit. 2nd, Martin Kayser. Here's 3rd and 4th. This is Finn Groom ahead of Chris Deere. Groom is so quick through this final corner at Honda. He brakes so much later than Chris Deere. He pulls away from him, therefore. Rick Groom's dropped away, though, a little bit in 5th, and he's under pressure as they go up towards Hatchett from Jason Wood. But in turn, Chris Deere is challenging for 3rd as well, isn't he? Up to the outside of Finn, but Finn's going to hang on to P3. I think what's happening behind, Jason Wood goes through, I think.
Yes, he does. Very deep went Rick Groom into the corner, and just having a look out of our commentary box window, yes, he has also fallen behind Martin Rogers as well, has Rick Groom. There we are, we can see that on screen now. So Paul Thorpe is the red Fiesta just behind the grey one of Rick Groom, number 92.
So Jason Wood, as you say, up to 5th. He's there in the Vauxhall. Then you got the Peugeot. Then you got the Ford. So great variety in this. The Classic Stock Hatch Championship for pre-92 hatchback, 1600cc cars here. And it's there's Martin Rogers in the Peugeot ahead of the XR2 Fiestas of Rick Groom there, who ran a little wide but didn't think affected him too much. And then Paul Thorpe, top 2 up front, getting away from the pack now. Pete Morgan and Martin Kayser in the 2 different types of XR2, the injected car for Martin Kayser and the standard car for Pete Morgan. There they are, the top 2 then across the line, 1st and 3rd in the championship. Pete Morgan's had 3 podiums, just the 1 for Martin Kayser. But the Martini liveried car there just sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:15.16. And he's right on the bump. He can't be much closer than that to the back of Pete Morgan's car.
Good to see Martin Kayser doing well, based in Coventry these days, but originally from the northeast of England. He's been racing this car since 2012, and he does all the work on himself with his son James as well. They get the car ready, and he's had some success in it down the years. Martin's been actually racing for 15 years now, but 10 years in this car. These two are getting away then from Chris Deere in third position, as Kayser now attacking Pete Morgan for the lead of the race at the hairpin there. You can see a little bit further back, Rick Groom, as a red flag's now coming out. The race is being stopped, and we're trying to figure out exactly. Well, I think there's something off at the Debenny, or the crossing maybe, because that's where I can see a yellow flag being waved. So we'll see if we can get a view on that out of our window. But the race being stopped, it won't be restarted, I don't think, because there's only less than 5 minutes to go when the red flags went out. But so it's a slight mystery at the moment as to what's gone on, Josh.
I'm afraid it's Finn Groom that's gone off, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, Rick Groom's back. He's gone into the tyre wall, I'm afraid, up there at Debenny, like you suggested. So that's a real shame. After having such a good race there, the youngster, who hasn't been racing for very long at all.
No, he's not.
He did look quite sideways at times, and the checkered flag now being shown, isn't it? So that should confirm our top three as Pete Morgan, Martin Kayser, and Chris Deere. I'm not sure if we saw Chris Deere get past Finn Groom before that, did we? Not that
he was certainly ahead of Finn Groom. I don't know if we saw that.
Yeah, so much happened during the course of that race.
Yes. So I think Johnny Palmer's disappeared downstairs to hopefully speak to the drivers. I think they're going to drive into the pit lane exit. So hopefully Johnny can grab the top three as they head past him and make their way back to the paddock. So that'll be Pete Morgan, Martin Kayser and Chris Deere, as you have said. So we are going to see the Classic Stock Hatch cars again tomorrow. They're out tomorrow morning, bright and early, 9:25. It's a full day of racing that we have for you tomorrow, by the way. Getting underway at 9 o'clock with the second of the races for the Yokohama Mazda 7s. Let's have a look at the results though. Pete Morgan it was that took the win in that reduced race from number 88 Martin Kayser in second, 8 the winner from 88 Martin Kayser in second, 46 Chris Deere was third, fourth went to number 90 Finn Groom, in fifth place was 41 Jason Wood, sixth to number 39 Martin Rogers, seventh was number 92 Rick Groom, then Paul Thorpe, Robert Campbell who started on the front row, he was ninth, and Titch Kelsall rounded out the top 10. Neil Judman was 11th, Pete Osgoody 12th, and James Hazelhurst 13th. He didn't make it to the checkered flag, and I think we'll also have Finn Groom, of course, taken out of the results because he wasn't running when the red flags went out. So that's Classic Stock Hatch. They, as I say, have another race tomorrow, and we've still, as I say, got 7 more races to come this afternoon here at Pembrey with the Race Part 750 Formula Championship up next. And then after that, we've got the Demon Tweeks Yokohama Low Cost Championship as well. With Mighty Minis, the Tiki Wa Type R Trophy, the Race Parts Historic 750 Formula Series, RLM Racing Sports 1000 Championship, and the K-Tech Racing Clear Sport Championship rounding out the day here at Pembrey. So lots more racing to come at this South Wales venue. First time in 4 years that the 750 Motor Club has been here to Pembrey, and it's great to be back. It's a great circuit, produces some really good racing as we've seen already. It is a long way for many competitors to get here. We're just west of Llanelli, as we are now ready to head down to the podium, and here once again from Johnny Palmer.
I have a victory garland ready to go for Pete Morgan, so we need to go and find Pete, and well done as well to Martin Kayser and to Chris Deere, who wasn't actually up in the top 3 in the opening stages of that race, but I think a collection of what happened in the red flag and also then subsequently Chris has managed to nab a podium out of that. Where's Pete? Here we are. Oh, Pete's standing chatting, so let's go and interrupt him first of all. Pete, first of all I need to award you one of these. So congratulations, there's your victory garland. One of those sort of tricky races. I mean, it was frenetic going in through the first few corners, through Debenny on that opening lap, but unfortunately we don't get quite the 15 minutes, curtailed at just over 10.
Yeah, it's just basically keep the thing in front and just keep going. That's all you can do, and just keep everybody behind you as much as you can. There's certain parts of the track we were pretty dire, to be quite honest with you, and other tracks we were pretty good, but I mean, all in all, we weren't anywhere near the pace we should have been this morning, but tomorrow's another day, and we'll see how we go from there. We've won, that's the main thing.
Do you think had Martin got in front of you, it would have been tricky then to catch up and make the repass?
I'd certainly have to try a bit. That's for sure.
I mean, these cars are obviously different ages of Fiesta, but they're very evenly matched, and you've got the Peugeot in third as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's the age-old stories, horses for courses. I mean, we'll come here, we'll go to Cadwell, we go to Croft, and we're pretty competitive. We go to Snetton, we're going to struggle a little bit. Brands we're not too bad at. Mallory Park, well, I might not even turn up. It's as easy as that. So you try and get the job done at these sort of tracks. So, yeah, and all in all, it's working out all right today.
Points in the bag, Pete. That's what matters.
Oh, yeah, definitely, and more weight in the car.
True enough. Well, you said that. Pete Morgan winning the race. Let's have a quick word with Martin as well, because Pete felt that maybe had you managed to fashion an overtake, you would have been tricky to catch.
Yeah, it was close. But early on, he got away a little bit. I think the very first corner, I had to back off because I think it was Richard coming up the inside, tanking up the inside. Now, if I turn in there, it's going to write the car off. So, unfortunately, I had to back everybody up a little bit. And then I think I got about 20 yards gap, and then slowly managed to pull that in. But I think it was Finn behind me. One of the grooms was right behind us all the way. I managed to get a break. And then I just started to go onto the back of Pete, but I think we were starting to slow ourselves down a little bit because I think it was Chris. He caught us up within half a lap, sort of thing. But I mean, it was slippy out there, real tricky conditions, but it was good fun. It was good fun to be.
How did the conditions compare to when you were practicing and qualifying early today?
It wasn't. It's funny because I felt it was a little bit slippy, and I'll tell you why. Because this morning it was really heavy rain. It came as a downpour, whereas it's obviously dried off a little bit. It's clearly not dry, but it's damp, and it's almost like greasy conditions. And I think I'd rather be in the full monsoon that we had this morning. But I don't think it went okay, to be honest. Like, I'm happy with second. I
mean, a real shame that it had to be red flagged, of course, because it was a cracking scrap to that point.
Yeah, I think so. But I think I've been lucky because I've just spotted there's a big hole in the radiator. There's a tiny hole in the radiator, and it's chucking out water. So I'm thinking that they probably would have restarted me if they'd seen that, because it was literally under pressure. So I think I've been looking. I think there's some debris on. I think it's probably some debris that's come through because there's a lot of debris on the last corner. I think it's at Honda corner, and a lot of debris there. But no, I'll take second place any day.
Indeed, so glad you made the finish, bearing that in mind. Martin Kayser finishing in second, and let's have a quick word with Chris then, because you were behind both of the groom cars. And I mean, can you shed any light as to why the red flag came out? Because we're trying to piece that together.
I think Finn was behind me. I got past him on the back straight, and then he was behind me down the straight. I went around with his left hander. I think Finn maybe just took too much speed, and I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if he went off by himself. Do you know what? No, I can't. Is the answer to
But Finn was involved somehow.
I think so, yes. I think Finn went off, causing a red flag. We were just on the tail of these boys on the last lap, caught them up fairly quickly because they were battling. I thought, we're on for a bit of a race now, and never mind, we ran out of laps, but send it. The cars are working. We got 3 happy drivers on the podium. What more can you ask for?
That's very true.
A win would have been nice.
Well, that was my next question. Had it run the distance to the 15 minutes, you feel like the result could have been even better than third?
I think I'd have got past Martin because he seems to have a bit of I saw a bit of smoke from that. He's sort of losing a bit of water. Whether you can get past Pete Morgan around here when he's winning and we're 1-2 in the championship is a very big ask. But I will try again tomorrow and give it the best. Why not?
There's always a Sunday here at Pembrey, isn't there?
Absolutely. It might even be dry and warm. You never know.
Not sure I'd go that far, but we can be ambitious. It might be snowing in South Wales, yes, but nevertheless, Chris Deere finishing in third position. A cracking opening stanza then for the Demon Tweeks Yokohama Classic Stockhouse Championship. And next, it is the Race Parts 750 Formula Championship.